Today I will do my E-Flite air tractor once more. It's a really nice RCR plane. It does have this great looking three-bladed propeller, navigation lights, flaps, really striking yellow color, really peculiar and odd design, but also really beautiful. So let's go outside and get this one up in the air.
ESC 13.5 volts, 27 amps.
Today I have a 4S 2200 milliamp battery inside. So we have some telemetry warnings, but I've been up since early morning and I suppose the batteries are quite cold. Now today I will just take it easy, not do anything crazy. This is such a great plane, but you have the kind of this flap settings down. So as you just saw right now, I did go into half flaps, and half flaps I have ballooning, but not with full flaps. It's a really odd flap configuration on this RCR plane, so I didn't really bother with doing half flap, just did the full flap setting and set it up with the right elevator mix. This plane I think just looks really fantastic. Just comparing, then you have a really long wing, and it's kind of short RCR plane to be this wide wing then. And the yellow really pops. If you go into the dark, it's more like a silhouette against this blue. When you get into the sun, it just pops really well. It's such a docile plane if you like. There's very little wind today, so good conditions to fly in the RCR plane. With flaps, full flaps done, and my flap setting I think I have right now like 10% elevator mix just for full flaps, and then it flies really well. This plane is in the same class as like my Cirrus SR22T and also the Mall M7 from E-Flite. I think they share very many similar things when they fly. So right now I guess I'm just firebombing or something, I don't know. Because this is, I mean, it's like the firebombing version and called Fireboss. But it does, of course, feature floats. So on my second air tractor, because I have two, I do have floats and fly on my summer house. And in stock configuration you don't have a smart enabled speed controller, but I put in the Avian 45 amp in mine. So I do have telemetry readout of the battery voltage. So you see that it more or less just flies like on rails. When you just want to push it, increase throttle and just responds right away. That's the thing I like about prop-driven RCR planes compared then to EDF RCR planes, that you get this instant response and you can just keep pushing it from quite low speed, just keep increasing very fast, rapidly, compared to an EDF RCR plane where you kind of have to be like a little bit in advance if you want to have the power. But with a plane like this, you get it right away. We just do docile turns. We like to go slow, 3-4 meters above the ground. So great to see this one. And you like to just push it and gain some altitude. Really easy to move around in the sky. Usually I like 1.2 meter RCR planes more than these kind of 1.5, just because 1.2 then is much easier to turn and to do tight maneuvers. I think this one handles great. Flying kind of tight, using rudder just to kick it around. Very interesting and cool plane to fly. So I have like half a minute left on the timer. I mean, if I'm just going docile around the field, then like this, I suppose I could probably go like 6 or 7 minutes. But right now the timer is set for 5 minutes, and 5 minutes is usually just enough to get a good flight. Not doing any touch and goes with this RCL plane because the landing gears are kind of soft and might bend. So time to get this round down now then. Let's try to make it as smooth as possible with some speed. It was an okay landing this time. Really fun plane and interesting and odd looking. If you never try this one, and if you're interested in something a little bit odd when it comes to RCL planes, I think that you should consider this one. I know that this one has been around for a really long time, but it's kind of proven model. You do have like quick connectors for the wing when you assemble this RCL plane, so there are like 4 screws just to get the wing in place, and then they have the rear piece which just then kind of clicks in, and then you have these bottom braces that you just screw in, and then of course the landing gears underneath with 2 screws. So I mean it's a greatly featured and really easy RCL plane to fly. The issue that you might experience with this one, which I suppose that all E-Flite air tractor owners, is that these landing gears are really soft and they will bend. So on mine then I have these Dave Brown wheels, which are softer than the stock ones, just to try them out. I really haven't seen any huge improvement, but they're at least softer, so hopefully that will help. And I will surely just come back to this one because I think it's one of those kind of odd, interesting RCL planes that really stand out from the rest of them.